The New Orleans Saints have a hidden gem on their roster, and I'm going to explain to you what I mean in this video. Would you believe me if I told you one of the best edge rushers in the entire league is rocking black and gold? Big Grando, number 96, all about him. If you want the New Orleans Saints to beat the Seahawks this week, get Spencer Rattler and Kellen Moore their first win, and get back on track this season, I need you to do one thing and one thing only, ladies and gentlemen. That's hit the sub button. Lock us in, turn on your notifications, and subscribe today because we believe in sub for dubs. We will be live, by the way, for this matchup, so I hope to see you guys there. Did you know? I was doing a little bit of research today, and I came across some really interesting information. Edge rusher Carl Granderson. He is currently tied for first in the entire league in sack production with 3.5. He's also tied for second in quarterback pressures. Granted, it's only week 2. We're entering week 3. Thursday Night Football is being played tonight. Filming this video, filming this as a part of our live show on Thursdays. So depending on when this gets posted, we're now in week 3. I understand it's still early in the season. However, you cannot sit here and tell me that he hasn't been good, because Carl Granderson, not only has he been good, he has been downright and just outright phenomenal. Now, he is a hidden gem. Remember, Carl Granderson, he joined the New Orleans Saints in 2019 as a free agent, or as an undrafted free agent out of Wyoming. He signed a 2-year extension in 2022. And remember, in 2023, he also signed a 4-year extension after having a couple really good years. He's become a major factor for the New Orleans Saints defense, and he's been a big reason why this defense has been able to find some success. I want context to be added here. I'm not saying that the New Orleans Saints defense has been elite. I'm saying Carl Granderson has been elite. He's become one of the main guys in the Saints pass rush. And for what it's worth, considering the injuries that have been happening on the Saints defensive line and considering where the general scope of the team is, it's really nice to see one of the players on the Saints defense at the very top of the league in a major statistical category. Again, 3.5 sacks, 7 pressures this season, 4 tackles for loss, 13 tackles. He is already on pace to shatter all of his other previous numbers. 5.5 sacks in 2024, 8.5 sacks in 2023. That's why he was able to earn that 4-year contract extension. In 2022, 5.5 sacks, 13 pressures. He's been somebody who consistently has been a reliable pass rusher for the New Orleans Saints. And I will tell you right now, it's kind of crazy to say this out loud. I genuinely cannot believe that I am saying there is a New Orleans Saints player that is leading the league in sack production right now. Carl Granderson is one of the best pass rushers in the NFL based on statistics in this exact moment. Thursday, September 18th, around 4 p.m. Central Time. At this time, he is one of the best pass rushers in the league. If you don't agree with me, I'll prove you wrong. 2025 sack leaders. You can see on the left side of your screen all the people tied for first in the league. And then on the right side, you see everyone who is just below that at just 3 sacks. And then beyond this list, you have got a bunch of guys with 2.5, 2, 1.5, 1. List goes on all the way down to 0. Now, obviously, you see some really talented edge rushers here. You see Myles Garrett. You see Brian Burns. You see Byron Young, Harold Landry. Some really talented players here. Carl Granderson has been one of those guys that's been really productive, really reliable, and a really good timing and at a really good moment for the team. He's second in quarterback pressure. So not only is he bringing down the passer, he's getting after him and making the opposing passer's life a living hell. He has created problems, and he has been a nightmare for opposing offensive coordinators to have to game plan against. And it's really convenient considering the New Orleans Saints are down without their top pass rusher in Chase Young for the entire season. So I can't help but think, imagine when Chase Young gets back on the field. fair to say Carl Granderson is only going to be getting better because now the offensive line is going to have to take into consideration not just Grando, but also Chase Young. So I think we are in for a very, very special season for number 96. Show some love to Big Grando. Type his jersey number down in the comment section. He has been playing lights out football, red hot to start things off. And if you are impressed with what he's done thus far, get in the comment section and show him some love. And like I've mentioned, this is all happening at an extremely convenient time for the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, you have a few things to consider. One of those being there's been some injuries that have already settled into the roster. The other one considering Father Time is undefeated, and eventually he does come knocking. Now, Cam Jordan, I want to give him a lot of credit here because he has started off this season red hot. 4 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, and he's put up 2 pressures already. So he's been doing a really, really good job thus far. Again, only 2 weeks in, and he's playing decent football. The sack production, though, it's no mystery, has taken a dip over the past few seasons. And he's a player who is he is now in the midst of year 15, 36 years old. I hope when I'm 36 years old, I'm able to be looking as good as Cam Jordan for what it's worth. I understand he ain't the player he used to be, but still making a massive impact. And the impact doesn't necessarily isn't just limited to production on the defensive side of the football. He's also a mentor and a coach and a leader for the pass rushing unit, for the young guys on the roster, for the entire defense as a whole. I think he's somebody who is a tone setter. I think he's somebody who can help create and build a culture. And I think that him sticking around in New Orleans is a really, really good thing for this team. Again, I'm not sitting here saying he's the most productive, he's going to be the most productive guy this year. In Saints history, yes, but this year, no. That's going to be Chase Young, Carl Granderson. But the fact that Cam Jordan is getting older, the production has declined, still playing good football, but his role is now not just the leading edge rusher, not just the guy who goes and gets after the quarterback. It's also being a mentor. It's also being a coach. It's also being a leader. I think that this is really, really convenient timing. We're going to talk about Chase Young here in one moment. But, guys, we told you about these shirts a while back. They were $60. They dropped down to about $30. Guess what? The sale is back on. They are now $27. The price has dropped again. You, my friends, can get yourself some new swag. Chatsports.com/Saints sale. I made the link available in the comments and description of this video. So be sure to go get yourself some new swag, whether you want to work out or whether you want to sweat it out on the couch. This shirt is 100% what you need. Now, Chase Young, he obviously is dealing with injury. And continuing this conversation that Carl Granderson's emergence and takeover is happening at a really convenient time, again, you don't have your number one edge rusher. And so the fact that Chase Young, a guy who's making $17 million a year, hasn't been able to be out on the field, you would have reason to be concerned and reason to start hitting the panic button. But Carl Granderson has been playing phenomenal football. Like, legitimately, even if he wanted to, he probably couldn't be playing much better. I mean, he's tied for first in the league in sacks, second in pressures. And Chase Young, we haven't seen anything from him since the Thursday of practices in week 1. And so it's really, really frustrating to see Chase Young not on the field because exactly the point I made earlier, I can't help but think how much better would this team be if he was on the field. I mean, last season, he was 7th in pressures, 66 total according to Pro Football Focus. He had 5.5 sacks. It's not amazing. But if you turn those pressures into production, that number skyrockets. And for Chase Young, he's somebody who has the pedigree of being the 2nd overall pick not too long ago. He's somebody who the New Orleans Saints invested in. And so if Chase Young isn't going to be available, thank God somebody else is picking up the slack. Thank God somebody's pulling the weight. And thank God somebody else is getting after the other quarterbacks. Because if you're not going to have anyone get after the quarterback, your defense is going to be much, much worse than it already looks. And it's going to ruin any sort of momentum and any sort of like good vibes you have going. It's going to kill all of that momentum. The word's slipping me, but it's going to kill all of your all of the juice you got going on your side of things. It's just frustrating that Chase Young hasn't been on the field. But I will say this, around Carl Granderson, I think that he is set for a big year. Because whether or not Chase Young is on the field, I still think that this is a player who will put up good production. I think he's a player who will have really, really good numbers. And I'm going to be honest, I would not be surprised if we see Carl Granderson finish this season with 10-plus sacks. Would be the first time in his career we've had a double-digit sack producer. Would be the first time in a while we've seen somebody have double-digit sacks. And I think Carl Granderson could 100% do that this year. I'm going to set the number at 10 total. So pick more or less. Let's have a little prize picks action for you. More or less, 10 sacks for Carl Granderson. Get in the comment section. I'm going to be spamming my mores. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to today's video, no matter where you are or how you're watching. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. Thank you for watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.